Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Let's officially get into today's topic, which is how do I get back into my routine and my mental health, the things that I know are good for my mental health when I've started falling out. Okay, so last time we talked about, and I want to re-emphasize, that the first step of the process is noticing that this has happened, and to do so without judging yourself harshly. It's not it's not the end of the world that the routine has stopped, and it can be easy to go, hey, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad meditator, or whatever it is, whatever harsh words we may say to ourselves when we fall out of doing the things that we intend to be doing and get upset by it. Maybe my 300-day meditation streak on Insight Timer is gone, and now I'm back to zero. And so because I'm back to zero, I go, oh, well, I'm at zero now, so it's okay if I miss a couple more days. Is it possible to meet yourself where you are in this moment, and to ask yourself, where are you? And to not expect yourself to be back where you were when you fell off the wagon. I don't, I think all of these kind of words that we have to describe what happens, there tends to be some negativity associated with it. So when we stopped, maybe just saying it straightly without any colorful language, when we stopped or slowed down, or one of the 5 pillars of mental health started to deteriorate, can we recognize that happened? And so the first step is begin where you are, not where you were. Begin where you are, not where you were. So can you meet yourself where you are in this moment and recognize that this is where I am now? I use yoga practice as an analogy often because that's one that I can relate to, and maybe you can relate to a bit too, or maybe physical exercise is something like that, where when you stop doing it for a while, there is an obvious change in your body when you try to do it again, right? And so if let's use weightlifting as an example. Okay, so if I'm lifting, let's say, 40 kg, right? I'm bench pressing 40 kg, and then this was 3 months ago. I was bench pressing 40 kg 3 months ago, and I go back into the gym and I just load up the bar with 40 kg and I start going at it, right? Okay, one thing is I'm likely to injure myself, right? And I like this analogy because I was talking with somebody over the weekend about the SN Goenka Vipassana retreat. And that retreat is not for everybody. That retreat, in my opinion, is for people who have some regular meditation practice already, right? It's difficult. It is a retreat that can be extremely trying to you mentally, and balancing all of the different things, the striving that may occur. In short, it's like going into the gym after not having done any physical exercise for months, and trying to go do something. You may mentally injure yourself. You may physically injure yourself if you try to go on this retreat with no practice ahead of time, right? So is it possible to notice, where am I right now? And to meet yourself with that honesty. And so this really directly relates to what we were talking about last time. So it's that kind of being honest with myself. Here's where I am. And as I start to build up my routine back to not even to get where I was, right? I mean, this like to get where I was might be the thing that's in your mind. Like, I want to get back to where I was. Is it possible to let go of that goal and to just say, this was in the past. This is not me now. This was me in the past. And there's no need for me to actually get anywhere. And I think this is really a difficult thing for us to see and accept in our practice, is that the practice doesn't go anywhere, right? We're not trying to do anything. We're not trying to change ourselves. We know that the practice gives us some benefit, some mental health benefit. So instead of trying to see where I was or trying to see where I want to go, is it possible to see where I am right now and lay out some kind of plan for myself, to meet myself where I am right now? What's that mean for my meditation practice? Maybe it doesn't mean trying to sit for 20 minutes. Maybe it does mean sitting for 5 minutes. Maybe it means going back to maybe I wasn't using guided meditations before, to use another topic that we've talked about lately. Maybe going back to using a 5-minute guided meditation. Whatever it is, somehow to get some momentum going again. So is that possible? So that's like leading directly into step 2. So step 2 is tiny actions create momentum. So as we start to rejoin and re-engage into our practice, we'll find that these tiny actions do start to create some momentum for us to begin to get back moving in the direction that we want to move again. So it looks to me like my video is out of sync. I don't know what it looks like for you. If everything's working okay. I've just want to let you know that I see it on my end. If that's what you're experiencing as well. Okay. Thanks, Marianne, for the feedback. Hopefully this will work. That everything will be working again soon. Okay, good. So it seems it's some people are experiencing it and others aren't. Okay. So as we get back into our practice, this is the main thing, right? Is that each of these small things that we're doing, if we haven't been doing anything at all, start to bring us back into it. And I think the important thing to understand is that that we don't have to get started exactly where we were, and that we can, hey, you let yourself off the hook as best you can. You don't have to get back to where you were. You don't even have to meditate every day. You don't have to exercise every day. Just set some attainable goal that you can do to help get yourself back into this practice. So, speaking of which, let's go ahead and get into our practice today. And as we get into practice today, let me just encourage you to this encouragement: meet yourself where you are, right? Maybe don't sit still for the entire practice. Move as much as you need to. Instead of doing some sitting meditation with spaces of silence, let's go back and do one of the more original meditations, which is the body scan meditation. So not being so concerned about performance, even though I rarely see meditation as some performative activity. But let's just see what it's like to meet ourselves where we are. So get comfortable. And again, meeting yourself where you are. Is it time to sit up? Is it time to lie down? Maybe standing today is what you need most. This body's always here. No matter what happens, as long as you are alive, you inhabit this body. In fact, you more than inhabit this body. This body is you. This maybe is one of the first real lessons that became very obvious as I started meditating. I think I used to think that I was kind of like this disembodied consciousness that was just kind of, stuck inside of this physical being. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, this physical being and my consciousness are so intimately related. It's funny that that there is maybe some belief that these were two separate things. So as we start this meditation, as we start feeling this body, as we start becoming aware and acknowledging the physical sensations that we experience, whether they be pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, we can see that coming back to awareness of this body, whether it be pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, is a kind of coming home. And the relationship that we have with our body can sometimes set what that feels like to be coming home. And so be aware, is this a positive experience? Is this pleasant? Is this unpleasant? And if it is unpleasant coming home to the body, maybe there's additional work to be done in self-compassion that can help this experience be more pleasant. So is it possible to try to open up, to love ourselves and our bodies exactly as they are right now? So notice. Inhaling and exhaling. How the body moves gently with each breath. And noticing that you are supported. You are literally supported by the thing you're sitting on, the thing that you're lying on. Can you feel that support? Can you notice how your body interacts with that support? Notice that there is pressure. As gravity pulls down on the body. That supporting surface is pushing back. So can you feel how pressure interacts with the body? Or what pressure feels like? How do you know that you're being touched? being supported. See if you can notice the details of the support, the feeling of pressure. Greater in some regions. And as I'm sitting here, I can just kind of call it out, right? I can feel there are spots on my buttocks that have more pressure than the rest. And then I can kind of feel this pressure map as it slowly gets less and less as it goes outwards. So there's this one area on each buttock that is obviously higher pressure than the rest. It's actually right next to my sit bones. And then that pressure subsides as we go out. And then as I feel to the edge of my cushion, I can feel where it's just clothing there. So this is just an invitation to reacquaint yourself with your sense of touch. If you're lying down, see if you can notice the pressure on each point of the body that is being contacted by the supporting surface. And now let's release the attention of that contact of the supporting surface. And see if you can bring your attention to your left leg. So from the hip down to the toes. So observing feeling or sensation in the thigh, in the knee, in the lower leg, and the ankle, and the foot, the toes. Can you shine that spotlight of awareness down on the entirety of the left leg? So maybe you're noticing pressure. As I sit cross-legged, it's impossible for me to miss the sensation of my right foot and right leg in contact with my left leg. I also notice the feeling of the cushion under my left knee. And then besides touch, what else do we notice? Is there any itching or tingling? You can also feel the gentle movement of the air in the room on my exposed skin. From hip to toes, what do you experience in your left leg now? Seeing if you can focus all of your awareness on observing those sensations. On the next exhalation, releasing awareness of the left leg. Bringing awareness into the right leg, the right hip, down to the right toes. Sensations on the right thigh. The right knee. The right lower leg. The right ankle. The right foot. The toes of the right foot. So holding all of it, everything in the region of the right leg in awareness, in our experience, immersing ourselves entirely in this experience of observing physical sensation. You may find your mind completely immersed, curiously observing everything that's going on, feeling everything. Or you may find that your thoughts want to steal the stage, want to pull you out of this present moment awareness and take you somewhere else. So if you do find that your mind wants to keep wandering, just using this awareness to notice what it is that's brought your mind away, and then gently redirecting the attention back to observation of sensations of the right leg. And then when you're ready, perhaps on the next exhale, letting the right leg dissolve into the background of your awareness. As you bring your attention to the pelvis, to the buttocks, the front of the pelvis, the hips, the genitals, the anus. It's just holding everything here in this region of the body, fully in awareness. And unless you are standing, you are also feeling some pressure in this region as the supporting surface pushes on this region. So making sure to include that in your experience, this interface with the thing that's external to my body, as we hold everything in the region of the pelvis in awareness. And so now let's see if we can include both of our legs in awareness as well. So holding the entirety of the pelvis, the entirety of the left leg, the entirety of the right leg. It's exploring with curiosity, what is my awareness capable of? So the waist and below, holding this half of the body in awareness. And now, on the next exhalation, releasing it all. Letting go of this awareness of the lower half of the body as we begin to draw our awareness into the tailbone and up the spine. And as we draw the awareness up the spine, including everything around the spine. So the muscles of the lower back, the skin on the surface of the lower back, maybe even bringing the kidneys in awareness. As we go up further, noticing the muscles in the mid-back, seeing if we can feel where the ribs are connecting in. The ribs coming around from the front of the body and connecting to the vertebrae. As we move up, noticing the shoulder blades, the muscles between the shoulder blades. Is there any tightness? Is there anything that makes these, or one or two of these muscles, stand out more than the other? So holding the entirety of the back body in awareness now. And so letting that awareness expand over the shoulders, around to the front of the body, noticing first the chest, maybe as you observe your chest, you can feel a gentle rising and falling with the breath. It may be possible to feel your heart beating in your chest. Noticing the ribs. And making our way down to the abdomen. Feeling the abdomen rising and falling with the breath. Seeing if it's possible to probe inside the abdomen to notice the internal organs like the stomach, the intestines. Is there perhaps a little bit of movement in there, as digestion is always happening? Perhaps the feeling of hunger. Is that localized to the area of the stomach, of the abdomen? So opening awareness to the entirety of the front side of the body, the chest, the heart, the ribs, the abdomen, the intestines. And noticing how each breath affects this region. On the next exhalation now, releasing the attention of the abdomen. Bringing attention to the left arm. So from the front side of the body, just guiding the attention through the left shoulder, the left armpit, the left upper arm, the left elbow, the left forearm, the left wrist, the left hand. Taking a moment to hold the entirety of the left arm in awareness. And on the next exhale, letting the left arm dissolve into the background of awareness. As we guide the attention over to the right shoulder, the right armpit, the right upper arm, the right elbow, the right forearm, the right wrist, and the right hand. Concentrating attention. Again, noticing these nuanced sensations we may feel. I'm wearing short sleeves, so maybe I feel the air moving through. It's a gentle brushing more on the back sides of my arms than the front side. Can feel as well the hairs on my arm that move gently with the air that's moving in the room. I can feel my palm in contact with my right knee. So all of these are parts of the experience of the right arm. And so on the next exhale, releasing awareness of the right arm. And then moving into the neck, the front side of the neck, this soft tissue here in the front. If you're like me, you're aging a little bit, you can notice that this part is starting to hang off of our bodies more than it has in the past. The back of the neck, noticing the spine coming up into the base of the skull. The jaw. The mouth, the teeth, the tongue, the nose, the cheeks, the ears, sounds that are coming into the ears, the eyes, muscles around the eyes, the eyebrows, the forehead, the temples, the scalp, back of the head, everything from the neck upwards. Even if you have a headache today, making that headache part of your experience in your meditation today. Being aware of everything that you experience, whether it be pleasant or unpleasant, in the region of the neck and head. Is there tension in the face? And if there is, it's okay to let it be there. This is not a practice of forcing ourselves to be relaxed. This is a practice of meeting ourselves where we are. And so can you now expand your awareness to the entirety of the upper body, so from the waist up, the back, the front of the body, the arms, the head, and now also including the lower body, holding our entire bodies, the physical sensation of this thing that is so intimately tied to what it is to be me. Holding this entire body in awareness, all of the sensations that we experience now. Congratulations, everyone. It's time to draw our practice to its close, and I'll do so with 3 rings of the bell. All right. Thank you. Thanks for practicing with me, for sticking it out through this meditation if you did. And if you didn't, maybe you stopped in the middle of the meditation to go do something else, but you left me on in the background. That's okay too. This today is about meeting yourself where you are, not where you were. So just letting yourself be however things went. And Rachel and Tatiana, you're probably not alone. I would say out of the people who are here, there are probably a lot of people who were falling asleep. This tends to be pretty normal with the body scan. It's something that tends to happen a lot, and I think always have it. At least 20% of my meditators will fall asleep during the body scan, and I think that's okay. Maybe your body just needed some sleep, needed some extra rest. So, all right. Thanks again for joining in today. What we'll be doing next time is continuing on this topic. So as we're using little steps to gain momentum back into our practice, what else could we potentially do? What are the next steps to help to pull everything holistically back together, so that whatever piece it is that is falling off, that we can start to ride that momentum to bring all of the other aspects of our life back together. So I'm going to have a quick look at the chat, so please feel free to share your experience today. Thanks, Kea. Thanks, Alexa. And I saw A joined in the meditation today. I've forgotten it's been a while, and I've forgotten what your full name is that you go by. Jean says, I was distracted a lot and I kept coming back again and again. Sometimes when I came back, I realized I was on the wrong arm as we had transitioned to the other one. This happens a lot, so that's, if that's your experience, see if you can let that be your experience. And I think that's part of it as well for body scan, is to not be worried about exactly where you are and what you missed. I think that's something that happens, that we fall asleep and then we wake up and then it's like, oh man, I missed all of the torso and all the left arm, and here we are at the right arm. Is it possible to let go of those thoughts and to just be where we are, and to not worry about what happened in the past and what we missed? And that in and of itself is a pretty good lesson for life. Thanks, Linda. Thanks for coming here today. Thank you, Rachel, for your donation. And I hope to see you again. If it's your first time joining, I hope you'll check it out, because we always have kind of a series going on and a little bit of momentum. So if you come, try to make it accessible so that you can come here at anybody's first time, but also that if you've been coming regularly, that we are kind of moving slowly. What's the here? I'm going to paste it into the chat again. Tiny actions create momentum. So remember that the tiny actions we take, even tiny bits of self-compassion, tiny bits of compassion toward others, all of these have some effect. So thanks everybody for joining. And I'll see you next time. So, if you're wanting to get back into your practice, or if you're just looking for reminders of what happens as our practice ebbs and flows, how to ride the waves of our meditation practice. Oh, number one was meet yourself where you are, not where you were. So meet yourself where you are, not where you were, or begin where you are. Begin where you are, not where you were. Don't try to be where you were, because you're not where you were. You're where you are. All right, let's close practice with some well wishes to ourselves and others. So follow along with me if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you happen to be today, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all of humanity, all human beings, everyone, everywhere, I wish you all happiness and peace. Yeah, it's out of sync again. Well, all right. Well, we'll as always work on it, and be well, everybody. Take care. Thanks for the well wishes. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the donations, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.